You got me hanging on strings now. Hey, yeah, it's your boy E2 Blue. What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing today? Um, it's Monday. It's Hangover Monday. Hangover Monday is always the most difficult days when you lose a game the day before, and you had high hopes for your team to win, and the Cowboys very much could have won that game. Now, there were some miscues in the game, and there were also some erroneous ass play calls. Not play calls. Flags. There was a lot of flags in the game. Some of them were warranted. Some of them were mistakes that we made, but there were some of them that were questionable. Like, come on now, you gonna throw that? Like, it almost seems like, I know a lot of people that are fans of other teams gonna be like, oh, you guys are always talking about the refs, because again, if you watch the Cowboy games, you see that they call stuff that they don't normally call for other games. And I watch other games all the time. I do it. I see other games. I don't see none of that stuff in other games. I don't. I really don't. Whether it's a team that's better than us or it's a team that's worse than us, I never see that. And it irritates me because I'm just like, really? Jesus Christ. Like, what? But anyway, I will say that, Dak had another career game. Now, I know some of the haters going to say, oh, they were garbage yards. Let me explain something to you. There's a big difference between garbage time and when you're still in the game and you're trying to win it. That is what Dak was doing in both the Falcons game and the Seahawks game. Garbage time, for you idiots that don't know football, the trolls, garbage time is Lord have mercy. I don't even know why I'm even explaining this. Garbage time is when the game is out of hand. There's no way you can get back. The defense is playing prevent against you. And it's just garbage time. It's just garbage yards. That's what garbage time is. When you're in a situation where you can't win. There's no way between the time that it is to win the game and the score that you are away from catching up to the other team. There's no way that you can catch up time-wise. Every game this season so far that the Dallas Cowboys have been in, they were able to come back on. And that's what Dak Prescott was trying to do. So those are not empty calories. They're not empty calories. They're not garbage time yards. They're none of that. All of those yards are valid and warrant. That was him trying to be a warrior and come back. Now, granted, you shouldn't be in a situation where you got to come back. I do agree with that. But in that instance, though, it takes the whole team to work together. Dak Prescott can't do it all by himself. Ezekiel Elliott can't do it by himself. And those for those people that kept saying that Dak Prescott rode the coattails of Zeke since he first came in the league. And I'm just like, okay, well, does Zeke throw the ball? No, he doesn't. So unless Zeke is another quarterback, that doesn't make sense. Yes, teams are threatened by Zeke because he's a dynamic running back. He's one of the best running backs in the league. He has been since he got in the damn league. So what does that have to do with Dak's ability? Absolutely nothing. And people are just, y'all talk about me making excuses. That's an excuse about Zeke. So you mean to tell me that every team that has a good running back, that quarterback is riding that coattail? That's basically what you're saying. Explain that to me, because that doesn't make sense either. Now, is Dak elite? No, nobody said that. But Dak is in that position where Deshaun Watson is at because they got paid. I think that if you look ability-wise, he can be like Russell Wilson. I know Russell Wilson has a Super Bowl, but Dak doesn't. That's really the only difference stat-wise. If you go back and look at their stats from both of their first 4 years of the season, it's quite similar. Now, Russell Wilson has gone to that next level that Dak is not there yet, but he will be, and he's getting there. If you notice this year, the team is allowing him to have more reign over what's going on, especially in-game decisions, when they're in the 2-minute drill, when they're in hurry-up offense and things of that nature. That's all Dak Prescott called his own plays on that. And Jason Garrett didn't allow him to do that. It kind of just held him back a little bit. And yes, Philip, coaching matters. Yes, coaching matters. And I told you guys about everybody asks me, E2, what do you think about the coaching staff now? I don't think any different than I did before. You guys got to understand patience. And I get it. We ain't won a Super Bowl since the 90s. We ain't won an NFC title since the 90s. I get it. That will change. But you have to understand. There's teams that ain't done even what we did in the time that we did it. You look at the Bengals, you look at the Browns, like they've sucked for years. Look how many quarterbacks the Browns had. Look how many quarterbacks have been Dalton's backup when he was with the Bengals, but now he's with the Cowboys. So I just look at it like this. I just, sometimes when you guys, I understand the frustration, fans. I get it, man. But we got to be smart. We got to be wise. I don't want our Cowboy fans to be dumb. I just, because I want us to be well educated and understand how football works. Again, when you have a season like this with COVID and with this coaching staff being brand new and this defense being totally different. Now, everybody kept saying, well, Aldon Smith is playing great. Yes, he is. Do you know why? This scheme is very familiar to him. Aldon Smith was I was talking to DMV. Shout out to DMV, Dallas Cowboys. I was talking to him about this. Aldon Smith played in Jim Tom Sula's system in San Francisco. He was a stand-up outside linebacker in that 3-4 defense. And a lot of the things that they're trying to do with some of these defensive linemen that obviously didn't work, some of those guys are not that tight. Aldon Smith was that tight. That's why it works for him. And that's why it will probably work for Randy Gregory, too. So when Randy Gregory comes back week 7, he might actually start playing well, too, because this defense is predicated on his skill level, too. But you look at a guy like D-Law and Everson Griffin, they're three-point stance guys. So, again, if you allow them to go back to what they're doing and then maybe let the guys that know how to do 3-4 type of stuff like Aldon Smith and Randy Gregory, you let those guys do that type of thing, then you'll be fine. I like what I saw with Tristan Hill. I know he's probably going to get fined for that alligator rollover tackle that he did on the running back Carson when he messed up his leg. So he's pretty much going to be fine for that. But I like with the push that I saw from him. This defensive line played a little bit better than they did the week before. And I think that as the weeks go by, this defense is going to get better and better. My biggest issue now was the DBs. Not necessarily all the DBs. The cornerbacks did their thing. I think it's primarily the safety position. Now, I know all of you said that you want Earl Thomas. Okay, fine. If that's what you want. But again, what does the team want? We got to be realistic. Us fans, we can cry all day about Earl Thomas till we're blue in the damn face. But does Will McClay, does Stephen Jones, does this coaching staff want Earl Thomas? Because when you talk to Mike Nolan, he like, well, I ain't talked about no Earl Thomas. I don't know where all this talk came from. So, like, it's certain guys that don't want him. We talked about this last night. I don't understand why Clinton Dix got cut. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I just feel like he still should have had a spot on this team. Because, again, I don't think that he was worse than Darian Thompson. I'm just saying. I don't know what's up with Xavier Woods, but he's playing like he don't know what he's doing. Again, I don't know if it's just a defensive scheme or whatever the situation is, but they got to figure it out. They got to figure this out. Mike McCarthy's got to get with his teams, got to get with his defensive staff. He's got to get with that special teams. And speaking of special teams, you look at the game. The miscues on special teams commences this week, and like we can't keep doing that. We know that Greg Zuerlein missed the extra point. Ezekiel Elliott slipped, which caused a safety, which gave them an extra 2 points. Then we came back and tied the game on that aforementioned missed extra point. So the score was 9-9. Then it was 15-16. And then we just kept making mistakes after mistake. Now, the bright spot is Cedric Wilson was out there looking good. He had 2 touchdowns. He doubled his career record. He came into the game with like 5 catches and no touchdowns. in his 3 years that he's been with the Cowboys, but he's been mostly in the practice squad. Jason Garrett's era didn't use him at all. I tell you guys got nice cars in the driveway, but you don't use them. At least with this new coaching staff, they're actually utilizing their roster. They're trying to play everybody. Even Noah Brown got in the game in the fourth quarter like he did in the last game as well. So again, we got good wide receivers. I think we're good on that offensive side, but we just that defense has to help Dak Prescott. And I don't give a damn how good a quarterback is. He needs his defense to step up too, because you can't do it all on offense. Because again, if your defense is not stopping teams, they're going to keep scoring, which means you have to keep scoring. You're going to damn near be in a shootout every week. So you can't sit there and do that. So there has to be a situation where the defense got to step up. They got to do their thing. Like I said, they got better pass rush this week, but it can also get better. I think that as the weeks go, it's going to get better. As this team, this is preseason, and they say, what is it, 4 weeks of preseason? This is coming out of 4th week. We're playing against the Browns. We got Jarvis Landry and the number 2 receiver, Odell Beckham Jr. Number 2. Yeah, he likes Dookie. Anywho, you got Kareem Hunt and you got Nick Chubb. I think they could contain Nick Chubb. Kareem Hunt, he's gonna make his chunk plays. He's gonna do that. He does that on everybody. But I think that the Cowboys will win that game. I think they'll get that. But we'll talk more about the Browns as this week goes by. We're still a little salty over this Seahawks loss. Now, I will say that going forward, we're 1-2. The season's still early. Mike McCarthy has actually, if you look at his record going back with the Packers, whenever he started 1-2, the 5 years that he's done that in his coaching career, 4 of those 5s he still went to the playoffs. So that's kind of an encouraging thing. I think, like I said, I think we're a team that's going to come back in the end. I think that we're going to get our wins, we're going to start winning in the end. Now, you look at some of the tougher teams we still got. You got Arizona on the schedule. You got I think San Fran, but San Fran, they got a bunch of injuries and stuff, but they're still a good team. You got the Ravens down the road too, and I think that's near that November time, so around Thanksgiving, when the Cowboys have those short weeks. So they definitely got to make sure they're healthy. And speaking of healthy, everybody was talking about, we're gonna get Lyle Collins back. I think that this team is gonna sit Lyle and Tyron Smith for another week. I think they're gonna do that. That's my guess, because the reason why I say this is because I'm listening to what the coaches are saying in their interview, and I'm reading between the lines. They're not rushing these offensive linemen until it's needed, until it's warranted. Like, say if we get to the playoffs, that's when they do it. Say if we get to a point in the season where we're on a tear where we need this game, then they'll put them in there. But I just really think that now it's still early in the season. They're not gonna push these guys out there because they don't want them to re-injure themselves. They want to make sure that they're 100% before they put them back on the field. Now, like what the Cowboys did when they shift the line, when Looney went out for a little bit on that injury, they put Tyler Badish in there. So Tyler Badish played the center position. Looney came back in. He was at the right guard position. Zach Martin pushed out to right tackle, and they put Terrence Steele, or as Tierra like to call him, Terrence Aluminum Foil, on the bench. So, and then Brandon Knight over there on that left side. So I think that if they do a combination like that, I think they'll be all right. Just keep that thing moving, keep it churning, keep it looking nice, and I think that it'll be all right. I think that it will be all right. Do what you got to do. Because again, it looked like the line started protecting a little bit better when they made that shift too. We would have never made a shift like that when Jason Garrett was in charge. Shout out to Joe Philbin for that one though. But I'm gonna tell you one thing, fans. I understand that we had 2 tough losses. I get it. That's just the way the NFL is. You're gonna win some, you're gonna lose some. Only thing that really irritates is these talking heads. They're doubting Dak. They're saying that Dak can't do this, Dak can't do that. He can't beat a winning team. And I'm just like, here we go with this crap. And I'm just like, we have to. I guess the proof is in the pudding. And Cowboys stepped on their own toes. These players got to execute better. Ezekiel Elliott can't fumble. Tony Pollard can't fumble no more. Dak Prescott don't throw no interceptions. I mean, I know you are here and there because every quarterback throws interceptions. But, you got to be careful with it. Now, like I said, this is the first game of the season that he did throw a pick. Now, I look at that second interception, the one at the end, even though it counts on the record book, I don't really fault him for that because at the end of the game, you got to make a play. And he was trying to do a Hail Mary to try to get a touchdown. And what else are you supposed to do there? What quarterback wouldn't Hail Mary and do that? Aaron Rodgers created a damn Hail Mary. Well, I guess you could say Brett Favre, and then Aaron Rodgers started doing it. But you know what I mean. But I just look at it like this. I look at Dak keep playing like he has at this level, at this MVP status level that he's playing with, stat-wise that he's doing. I think he's going to be all right. Offense, I really have no issues with outside of the offensive line here and there. But defense, they got to tighten up. They got to figure out what they're going to do with safety. Either they got to go out and get somebody. I heard Earl Thomas was taking a visit to the Texans. So that should let you know something right there. Now, Eric Reed is still out there. Antoine Bethea is still out there. Go get somebody. I know some of these guys still want money because they think that they're great guys. So they're going to want some money. I think Earl Thomas might be too much for what the Cowboys are willing to afford right now, considering they still got to sign Dak after this year. So, yeah, it's a lot of things to think about. But that's all I got for right now, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I know you guys are going to real upset about this, but I'm going to tell you, at least we got the Browns next week. Doo-doo Brown. Dude, it's going to be a lot of jokes this week, so stay tuned to that. Oh, yeah, shout out to my members, all my new members. Oh, Mike J. Special shout out to Mike J. Mike J. Is the only one so far a part of the Keep It Real fan of E2. Appreciate you, bro, all day. Shout out to your wife as well, Crystal May. Love y'all. With that being said, y'all, it's your boy E2 Blue.